What's up, guys? This is Joel from Dog Theory, and here we are again with the Disastr Blastr designer playthrough. We've just cleared the boss of World 3, which is here, and the next one we want to go for is the boss of World 4 here. I know you guys might be wondering, hey Joel, why do you keep playing like these really easy levels that are like real easy, you can clear them in like 1 or 2 tries, and like why don't you show us some like actually really hard stuff? So I'm going to attempt to do that, and as always, this is going to be unrehearsed and unedited. You guys are going to more than likely see me die grievously like many times, and you might even see me fail like utterly at clearing these levels. So if you're looking to see me take on something that is possibly worthy of like an expert player, someone who's played Disastr Blastr for a long time and is has the skills to pay the bills in the parlance of our times, this is going to be what you're looking for. So here we have a level that is a looping path layout. This is going to go around and around and around. And the idea, again, is to destroy these small breakable blocks and find the green hidden treasures within. We're dealing with a lot of sniper enemies, including like the big pink blocks. These guys are the most dreaded. Like, they're probably the worst enemy of any like common enemy in Disastr Blastr. Their firing pattern is like a linear stream of 4 bullets that are fast and tracks you. So, if the first one doesn't catch you, like if you're moving, the pattern of bullets will be like a wave that will spread out and most likely end up tagging you if you're not incredibly careful to avoid. So I've made it about 1 time around, and this is about, I think the life expectancy in this level is about 1 lap around the level. If you don't find them within 1 lap, your time is growing short. So I'm actually doing okay right now. I found all except 1 of these hidden treasures. A couple other things I could note about this level are the large white enemies act as shields. Ooh, that was close. The large white enemies act as shields which will block enemy bullets. They're also a threat to you because they sort of expand and take up your precious space, which is what you use to move around in to stay alive. So, and a lot of times you just don't have the firepower to like clear them out when they're in your, like directly in your path. So you have a couple different kinds of threats, basically like a passive and an active threat together, which forms quite a challenging combination. And this is, I will admit to you guys completely freely, like I have had so much trouble with this level. This is one of the absolute hardest levels in World 3, which is actually one of the harder worlds in the game. And it's entirely possible that while you're watching this, I may not even be able to clear this level. That is absolutely possible. So, but I will try not to disappoint you guys. I'll keep your feelings in mind as I attempt to stay alive here. And I'm getting low on time, but there's only like 1 or 2 blocks left. I'm really hoping I can find the thing before I time out. That'll be epic if I can do it. 20 seconds left. Here we go. I saw 1 block that I didn't break. It was right up here. There it is. There it is. I need to break that. Oh, it wasn't there. Oh, the treasure wasn't there, and I'm dead. Very close. Very close. So that was a good first attempt at this, and let's try it again. I hope this doesn't end up being the failure video, like the video where I failed to even complete a level, but like, yeah. Like I've said before, like the game is unforgiving. It's based on randomness, and even as the designer of the game with like intimate expert knowledge of every level, the objectives are placed randomly, the enemies spawn randomly, and all the behaviors and firing attacks and firing patterns are completely random. So I'm in a position to have to react and rely on instinct and reflex as much as any player. My only advantage is like long practice. Like I've had months of time to test and work on my skills and figure out the patterns of movement that are going to allow me to hit these blocks maybe a little bit more efficiently. So those are my only slight advantages to possibly surviving this stage. And this is on a scale of 1 to 10, this is probably a 9 out of 10. Like, this is extremely difficult stage, and if you guys don't believe me, definitely use the unlock code, like the cheat, to get to this stage, and give this a try for yourself. If you maybe you think like my skills suck and you can do better, I would definitely recommend trying it. It is extremely hard. So oh okay. Oh no, oh no. See, if I concentrate hard here, maybe I can get one good run where I find a couple of them quickly, and that'll really help. It does. Oh, that's not good. As I was about to say before I got crushed there, it does depend somewhat on luck. Like, it's very difficult to break every single block. I could have just put less. I could have put less. Let's say if I put half the number of breakable blocks in this level, then when the objectives are distributed randomly around the level, it would be like there are much fewer places for them to be placed, and so it makes it much simpler to find them. So some of the design considerations that went into these levels are like the amount of I missed that one. Like the amount of time you offer the player, the number of treasures versus the number of like possible hiding spots is a big consideration for like balancing. Oh no! Oh man! Oh, keep it together, Joel. Oh, okay. That was a little hairy. I've seen a couple of treasures up here that I haven't been able to get to. Ideally, I would pick them up as soon as they appear. I can't always reach them though, and I need to consider dodging as like my main action here. So much of success in the game comes down to just movement. Like it is a shooter, obviously. Like at its core, shooting is fundamental, but so much of success in levels depends on just avoiding like other things. And I mentioned in the last video, which is the World 3 playthrough, like players will be, especially with enemies that reflect bullets, break apart into other enemies and so forth, like players will try, they will basically become afraid to shoot and will try like just to use movement purely to succeed. And that is a valid strategy. Like I said, it's not one that I've found particularly successful for myself, but I know other players who, say you're in a level that's very breaker heavy and they just keep multiplying out of control and you just can't avoid them. The strategy of sort of limiting your fire has been successful for people, so definitely give that a try if that's your playstyle. And I tend to be a high score addict and go for the big combos all the time, so it has its benefits and drawbacks. At the moment I'm hunting these big pink ones, I have to, as soon as they appear, I need to kill this guy. This guy's super dangerous, and the little ones too. Can't afford not to pay attention to him. Okay, so I need one more treasure. Really need it now. 40 seconds left. Where are you, pink thing? Oh no, don't time out. I think you've got, based on the timer and the speed of the path which you are locked onto, you have like 2 laps around the course here to find every treasure. So if every time you pass up a block and you don't destroy it, like your chances of success go down. 5, 4, 3. Be there! Oh, okay, timed out. And one of these, like, there was only a couple blocks left, and one of them was holding the object that I needed there. I probably could have just, like, not had a time limit. It was something that I thought about. Basically forcing you to try to destroy them quickly is taking an already difficult level and just making it radically harder. And the main reason the timer really exists in the game is just to limit like your opportunity to score infinitely. Like if you ever have a looping level with no time limit, enemies will keep spawning, and theoretically, like, it would be possible for the player to go around and just like continue destroying enemies and never, like, not look for the treasures and just never clear the level, and you could score, like, theoretically, like, you would have unlimited potential for scoring, which in a way would like make the scoring in the game meaningless. Like, the fact that you scored 50 million points would mean nothing if you could just like score infinitely. So that was really the impetus for having the time limits and levels. It wasn't to punish the player. Like, it might seem, you know, unnecessarily hard, right? But it was more for balancing considerations than to make the challenge any more challenging. And I thought maybe even having the timer as like an option, like you could choose to play like in easy mode or something with the timer off. But again, because of the scoring, that was the reason for including timers, really, kind of the main reason. So, okay, not really doing great this time. I need to find 3 more of these, and I've already made it around this thing almost all the way. Oh, that was close. Oh my gosh. I picked up a weapon I don't like, so let's get this. Oh man, this is not good, guys. I've got a faster weapon, but it's fairly weak, and I really prefer, like, with my playstyle, I tend to be an attacker, and I really prefer like the powerful weapons. This one I think is decent for large numbers of tiny enemies, like where one bullet will be 1 kill. It's kind of useful for that, but I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't mean to pick up the split beam, and this is probably not an ideal weapon for this part, so I'm just hoping I find that last treasure before I'm toast. Really need to break these blocks. Like, this is mission critical now. Like, oh god, there's 2 of them. Oh no, oh man, oh god. Yep, I'm gonna get the spread beam here. Find it. Be there. Oh, thank you so much. So there you go. A grateful designer has just cleared one of the tougher levels, and right now my heart is beating. Like, I have butterflies in my stomach, and my hands are sweating right now from the effort. Like, that level is so ridiculous. So I think I'm going to show you guys this one next, and this has got an enemy type that I haven't really expanded on much in these videos. It's called Leaper. Like all enemies, it has a name ending in R, and what it does is it leaps, hits a wall, and it sticks and then shields itself. So I will demonstrate by shooting this guy when he's stuck to the wall. He moved again. If I can shoot them when they're stuck to the wall, you'll notice that, like, it doesn't do any damage right there. It's just bouncing off. So they're pretty fun to fight. Like, you can try to wait till they move and time your shots to attack them, and that, oh man. That'll sometimes work, but when there's a bunch of them moving around, it's very difficult to make that timed shot, and they are pretty tough. Here's the other thing they do, is if I break this yellow guy, all the pieces float around, and when they jump and they touch a piece of this, they transform that moving fragment into a bullet. So if I'm foolish enough to break like a yellow thing apart, and these guys start jumping around touching these things, it's going to create like really random bullet attacks coming from super weird angles that are going to... Basically, it's going to be much more difficult to stay alive and cause me a lot of problems. I can maybe parlay that into a bit more block damage if I can get their bullets to hit these blocks for me, but the trade-off isn't a good one. Like, the chances of dying are increased like many times, like 10 times more, and the possibility of block damage is like very minimal. So, okay, you can see them doing it now. They're totally spawning shots, and I've got to stay very frosty and stay on my toes to avoid all of that as I'm searching for these treasures again. Okay, over here is going to be a laser, and I want to get in here and get this. There's like a little weapon room. I don't want that. This is really my weapon of choice for, I'm going to say, 60% of levels in Disastr Blastr. If you ever played Enclave, one of my favorite action games on Xbox, there was a character which is Elf Huntress. The Elf Huntress uses a longbow, which is like the equivalent of this, basically. Super heavy damage, like maybe the most direct damage of any weapon, but takes also the most skill and like precise aiming to use it effectively. So I love the Elf Huntress so much. I think they should have called the game Huntress. Like, I think Enclave is like not even an appropriate name because she is so great. And so think of this laser as like my Elf Huntress longbow in Disastr Blastr. That's how I think of it. Okay, I'm doing okay right now. In terms of points, it's not... Oh no! Oh! You guys saw what I did right there. That wasn't good. Okay, so in terms of points, it's not super easy to get chain combos off these guys. Like the way that their movements are timed, and just the difficulty of destroying them with the weak, like kind of like low-level weapons that are in here is it just makes it difficult to get any kind of chain combo score. So if you can even get like chain 10 or something in this level, that's actually really good. The way to get it is basically off the yellow enemies, like the breakers. But again, by breaking them, you're exposing yourself to a ton of random danger that you would honestly be better off like not even like just not shooting those guys if your goal is to clear the level and survive. So let's try that. Let's try just being conservative and not shooting the yellow enemies if I can avoid them. Now there are times where you can't avoid, or they will break each other. Like 2 of those yellow guys can break each other, which you know, as much as you may think that not shooting is safe, and in some ways it is, like you will never be 100% safe from the random abstract chaos in Disastr Blastr. No matter how careful you are, there is always, like, danger always just lurks, and it's pretty funny thinking, you know, I'll watch players thinking that they're very slick and not, oh, there I shot one just out of habit. So they'll think that they're very slick and not taking any risk by not shooting the breakers, and then they'll break apart right in their face and kill them. And then, you know, they give me this look like, really, like that just happened, and I'm like, well, dude, it's a shooter. Like, maybe attack and kill them before they do that to you. Oh god, oh that was close. Oh man. Okay, keep it together. Come on, Joel. Think about the YouTube viewers and don't disappoint them. They're not watching to see, well, maybe you are watching to see me die, and if you are, then I may not disappoint you. There it is. Okay, I had to disappoint those of you guys who want to see me get crushed here, so